Welcome to the virtual office hours for the fall of 2013. We have been off for a couple months. Some of you may remember some of our summer office hours when we were on the road doing research. But the school year has begun. We are back here with a new series of the office hours. Our producer, Megan Piet, is here. She's back, had a good summer, doing an internship in Philadelphia. And we are ready to go. We're going to try something a little bit different this year. This semester I am teaching, as I usually do every fall, the United States History Survey course up to 1865, the first half of the United States History Survey course. And I think we're going to devote the office hours to actually sort of almost like literal office hours, where I'm going to be addressing my students, that means you, who are watching this. I'm going to be talking to you and giving you each week some tips about how to do well in this course, how to make sense of the material that we're going to be wrestling with and grappling with. Some of it will be related to the content we're discussing in the class. Sometimes it will be related to certain skills or abilities or how to read and how to think like historians. So much of these, from this point forward, most of these virtual office hours are going to be directed towards my students who are there in the class. We have about 100 students in U.S. History 141, which is the U.S. first half of the U.S. survey class, and we're gonna go from there. In this first episode, and by the way, I have my founding fathers here, Pez dispensers, they're back. If you're new to the office hours, as some of you first-year students may be, these guys are fixtures of the office hours. They have been with me since the beginning. But what I want to talk about today is History 141. You've enrolled in this general education class to fulfill a general education requirement at Messiah. How are you going to be successful? How are you going to get a good grade in this class? Let me give you some very basic tips. I've been now teaching this course for about 15 or 16 years, 12 years here at Messiah. Here are some tips for doing well in History 141. First, obvious, attend lectures. We do not take attendance during lectures. It's a big plenary lecture. I know there's a lot of people in that room in Fry 110. But as I told you on the first day of class when we went over the syllabus, if you do not attend lectures, you will not do well in this course. Most of our exams are going to be based on the material that we discuss in lecture. So come to lecture, but don't just come. Come with a notebook or a laptop. Take notes. I will put an outline on the board every week during lecture. Every lecture, there'll be an outline. Don't just copy down the outline. Fill in the points on the outline. Again, some of this may be Study Habits 101, but you would be surprised how many people just sit there in lecture, stare at me, and don't take notes. Next, office hours. Believe it or not, your professor has devoted time each week, sometimes 3 to 4 hours, to meet with you. I have devoted 2 or 3 hours on Tuesday and Thursday afternoons to meet with you, to discuss the class. Take advantage of those. How many times are you going to have opportunities to come in and talk about history or anything with your professors? Too often I just sit around in my office hours and do other work because no one shows up. You're paying big money to come to Messiah. Come and take advantage of the office hours. Next, come to seminar prepared. We will take attendance in seminar, as you know. Come having read the material. Come with pre-prepared questions. What don't you understand about the primary source we're reading for that day? What kind of questions or concerns do you have about the document? Come to seminar prepared, ready to dive into the discussion. And then finally, you'll write 3 papers in this class. We're going to offer, Professor Snyder and I are going to offer you that you submit a draft. If you want to submit a draft a week in advance, we will look over that draft for content, make sure you're on the right page in terms of answering the questions correctly in the paper. Submit those papers in advance, and most students who submit drafts to us do much better on the final draft. So some quick tips. I'm sure we'll be talking about more of them as we go on this semester, but some quick tips on how to succeed in History 141, U.S. History to 1865. See you in class.